Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management? Joined by Keith Butler, a wealth manager at Annex Wealth Management. Welcome back, Keith.
Oh, great to be here, Danny.
Spotted a great article in Kiplinger's titled, Why Turning 65 Isn't What It Used to Be, according to an expert. Keith, I thought you and I should look at it and get your reaction. Here's the good news. More than 4 million people turned 65 in 2024. An expert in psychology and aging say many of them are thriving like never before. I love that. Let's talk about how boomers are reimagining retirement.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about Social Security for just a second without getting into the weeds too far. One of the problems, quote unquote, that Social Security's had over the years is the gap between retirement and death. I mean, when Social Security first started up, the life expectancy was 63 years old. So, people retire at 59 or 60, 4 years, call it a day. Now we retire somewhere in our 60s, maybe 65. But take a look at the obituaries in the Sunday paper and look at how old people are living these days. It's not at all unusual. Lots of people in their 90s. So now you have this gap that needs to be funded between retirement and death that is much greater than it used to be. But people are reimagining what life is going to be like after retirement, after age 65. And they've got more years than that because now we see medical science has made great strides, not just extending life, but making it more pleasant. I mean, you have orthopedic surgeries, replacements, so people don't live in the same pain that they used to. So there's a lot more that folks can do. And they're really reimagining themselves. I mean, as opposed to prior generations. I mean, some people go back to college. Some people may fall in love and get married again if they've been divorced or widowed or maybe never married at all.
You were talking a little bit about the physical part of aging.
Right.
But I think that people are entering retirement and they're really looking at it like a second act, like I'm not done yet.
Very much so. It's interesting because one of the things I've discovered in working with a lot of these folks is that, and it's not all or nothing, okay? It's not all 100% or 0%, but are they running away from something or are they running to something? Some people are running away. They hate their job, or maybe there's too much stress. Or maybe they can't physically do it anymore. For any reason, they just say, I'm tired, I cannot do this anymore. That's running away. Other people are running to something. And that's what I think you see more and more people doing these days is running to something. You know what? I have other things I want to do. I've worked for 40-some years, getting up early in the morning, and you know what? Now I've earned enough money. I've got some Social Security. Maybe I have a pension. I've saved money to my 401k plan, and maybe otherwise I feel secure, I have a good financial plan, and I have some other things I really want to do now.
Do you think that maybe today's 65-year-olds are different than our parents when they were in that age?
Oh, yeah, I think so, because during that generation, people tended to stick with their jobs more. It wasn't at all unusual that so-and-so's retiring after 40 years with the company. You see that now, but it's much less frequent. So people changed, people adapted, people saw other things and they wanted to do them, so they would change jobs. Unfortunately, there's even been more divorces. So you've seen people changing their lives in that way. But you see people moving on and trying new things and doing a lot more things, whereas I think the older generation was more kind of set into routine that they just kept up.
Today's 65-year-olds are different. We're with Keith Butler, a wealth manager at Annex Wealth Management. Now, the good news, bad news, and you talked a little bit about that. We're living longer, so a, quote, threat from longevity. Who knew that was going to come in? So living longer takes more money.
Yeah, it does. The saying that's come around that we've all heard is, you have the go-go years, the slow-go years, and the no-go years. And part of the problem is being somebody that's in that age group myself, the uncertainty of knowing how long that's going to be. Is how long are the go-go years? Are they going to be 2 years? Is it going to be 20 years? You just don't know. So that's why you want to be prepared to just enjoy life while you have it and treat those go-go years as well as you can. Another change, is going from something that is object-based or product-based rather than experience-based. In other words, that people don't buy things as much as they used to. They're spending more on experiences. Where I find that is when we prepare a financial plan and we're planning it out. I'll have a lot of people say, oh, we're retiring, so let's build in an extra, and it could be people vary. It could be $10,000, it could be $20,000 a year more for travel for 15 years or something like that. But nobody ever says, let's build in some extra money so I can buy gadgets.
Yeah.
Because now it's for the experiences, it's for traveling, it's for hitting cruises and things like that.
Talk a little bit about sense of purpose and the importance of that in retirement.
Yeah, and that goes back to the point of running to something. There are a lot of things that people want to do, we volunteer, because I think statistics show that people are a lot happier if they volunteer. Because now they are giving back to some things that are important to them. It could be a church. It could be animal rights. It could be Meals on Wheels for elderly people. It could be any one of these things. And I know some people that have done things, just driving elderly people around, just helping them get around. So there can be a lot of things that can give you a really good sense of purpose later in life, if you think about running to something.
Today's 65-year-olds are different. We provide investment and retirement planning, tax planning, and estate planning as an elite full-service wealth management experience from a fee-only fiduciary. We can do the same for you. That's how we think at Annex Wealth Management. Keith Butler, Wealth Manager at Annex Wealth Management. Thank you.
You're very welcome.